What's up, and welcome back to the channel. The name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out my Patreon link down below. Thank you. So here I have today the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, and I am going to be revealing who the Last Ronin is within this video. But first off, I wanted to say that this is a monumental issue because Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird have worked together again. Now, for anybody that hasn't seen the Netflix documentary, The Toys That Made Us, it was very sad and disheartening to see that the two men had fallen out, and over the Turtles' property between themselves, they really did have a fantastic friendship, and it was something that there seemed to be a twinkle in each man's eye. And I think for any person that was watching that documentary, they would have been hoping that those two men would have came back together and worked again. And here we have it. And I think this is why this has been so popular, because the two men have come back together and worked again, and also because it's a fantastic story. It's beautiful to see the original creators returning to create such a story that has captured an awful lot of fans' imaginations. This is a very difficult book to pick up, and I'm not saying that because of the sales haven't been great. What I'm saying is the sales have been fantastic for this one, and particularly some of the covers for these books have been absolutely wonderful, and an awful lot of people have been chasing this. And this is what happens when you write a fantastic story with great characters, and it is character driven, and you are looking after where these characters came from and who these characters are. What I think is beautiful about this story is it really shows how you write a character moving into the future and how their arc changes. Now, I think this takes an awful lot of inspiration from The Dark Knight Returns, and particularly the way Batman moved throughout those comic books, and particularly in that graphic novel itself when you combined it all. And what they've had here with this turtle has been absolutely wonderful. And I think what they had with people trying to guess who the turtle was hugely interesting, and very much so an intriguing concept, so that they could bring you into this comic book. As you can see with this turtle, he's wearing the brothers' weapons. So all four brothers, their weapons are on this turtle's person. Now, he does have the attributes of all four of the turtles. So for an awful lot of people, they were not sure who this turtle was going to be. And finally, it does get revealed. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about each turtle. So you have Raphael, who was the people's favourite, I think, at the time, due to the ferocity and the anger of this turtle, and the way he's so brutal as well, that an awful lot of people would have thought maybe it's him. I think an awful lot of people would have thought it was Leonardo because of the way he holds himself and the ability in which he can fight. They also may have thought it was Donatello with the intelligence that this turtle has, and with the plans and the skills that he shows throughout this story. I think a lot of people probably would have discounted Michelangelo. An awful lot of people that probably didn't look into who the character was or what's been said about this character in the past. And I think with Michelangelo, I think an awful lot of people would have discounted because he's the young dude, the party dude, and someone that you wouldn't have taken seriously whatsoever. So I think a lot of people thought it was maybe the other three, and I think he would have been a fair enough concept to think of that. So who is it? Well, in the story, it's revealed. So he says, "April, is that really you?" And she says, "Yes, it's me. And I'm so relieved to see you awake. You really had me worried, mister. But who were you just talking to, Michelangelo?" So April reveals that it's Michelangelo who's the lone survivor of the four brothers. Now, I think that this came as a big shock to an awful lot of people, because when you think of the four brothers, I don't think you think of Michelangelo as being the one that would be able to bear it out, particularly when the other three have been long gone. Why is this important? Well, it's important because Splinter has told Michelangelo on numerous occasions that if he just focused himself and kept himself on the right path, he would be the best of the four brothers. He has the best aptitude, and he has the ability to be a ninja master. He has the ability to be a Ronin. And here we have the last Ronin, and it is Michelangelo. I think this is a fantastic story. This is what you do when you are writing about characters that you've created. This is how you respect characters that you've created. And I think Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird have really dealt a fantastic, I suppose, odyssey in a way, in terms of their legacy with this one. They have not tarnished the legacy of the turtle. They have only grown to add it. And I think an awful lot of people would love to see this play out in live action. I think an awful lot of people would love to see this play out on either a movie or a TV series. And I think that this has a lot of potential going forward. Could this turtle cross over with someone else? Because we do know that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have their own kind of multiverse. It would be wonderful to see this Michelangelo team up with a Raphael, maybe from some other universe, or his three other brothers. I think that this would be wonderful. Or even meeting his younger self. I think that would be an interesting way to look at things, looking at an older Michelangelo talking to a younger Michelangelo. This is a beautiful story, and I have to say it's really surprising to an awful lot of people, especially me, that this was Michelangelo. I think when you do read into it though, and you do see that Splinter has said these type of things to Michelangelo, it's not too surprising to find out it is him. Now, what we see with Michelangelo was a brilliant character arc. His character arc goes from party dude, really not caring about anything or anything else really, personally in his life. And we go on then and we see that this guy really has been brought down by what has happened to his brothers, but he keeps fighting on. And I think that that is something that we all love about Michelangelo. Michelangelo is an eternal optimist, and I think that that is really important for this tour, and that is why he keeps fighting. And that is something I think that heroes do, and it's great to see a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or as we call it over here, the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, as they were called when we were growing up, do so well. Brilliant to see. Fair play to everybody involved. I think that this is wonderful, and I think that if stories continue to do things like this in terms of respecting the characters and respecting the original creators, you can't go wrong with that. Anyway, the name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, check out my Patreon link down below, leave a comment down below. What did you think about this reveal of The Last Ronin? Let me know, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.